Let's head over to Northern Ireland. Dougie Beattie is there for us. Morning, Dougie.
Good morning and welcome to the Mail Centre. This is the only mail centre in Northern Ireland. It's at Mollusk, just in the north of Belfast, and I can tell you it is absolutely freezing here this morning. But joining me is Denise Collins. She's the CWU representative in Northern Ireland, and I'm going to just basically ask her, Denise, what's it all about?
Basically, what the dispute is about is about its attack on the terms and conditions of the postal workers. It's an attack on the service, and what we're doing is taking our rightful decision to take industrial action to fight for those very terms and conditions, and to also fight to save this great public service.
How much more disruption can we expect over the Christmas period, and what will it mean to the ordinary person?
Well, there have been further dates announced, so there have been, and up to this point we haven't reached an agreement between Royal Mail and the CWU. So what that means to the ordinary public, that question has to be posed back to the company, because the CWU have been attempting to resolve this dispute for quite some time, from February of this year, and what everybody, including the workers that are taking industrial action today, have attempted to do is to get the company to see that the postal workers are the very foundation of this company, and they are the ones who were clapped and applauded and hailed as heroes during the pandemic, one of the most frightening times in recent history for anybody. And the postal workers were the ones that were out on the streets delivering to 32 million addresses. And they have done everything for the most vulnerable in society, people who couldn't leave their houses, and attempted to have that reach of community. They're the heart of every community. So how far that disruption goes, that question has to be posed back to the company, because the CWU and the postal workers who are standing here today are more than happy to come to an agreement. We want to come to an agreement, because postal workers do not want to be standing out in the freezing cold, taking industrial action in the mouth of Christmas. Everybody has their own bills to pay. They have children to care for. They have children to buy Christmas presents for, and they do not want to lose pay. So the company need to come to the table, and they need to get into meaningful talks, and they need to realise that without the foundations that is here of the ordinary postal workers, then, what kind of service are we going to end up with?
Well, of course, this is a private sector. Now it's no longer in the public sector. I mean, do you realise that this is the busiest time for the post office, and of course that'll be eaten into profits and could later cost jobs?
Well, prior to yesterday's industrial action and today's industrial action, the company have already announced 10,000 job cuts. So they have, and we believe that there could possibly be actually more than that. So the company have already made that decision. And again, I understand that this is the busiest time of year, and nobody wants to be striking at this time of the year, because again, we all have bills to pay for, we have children to look after and families to care for, and we need money to do that. We have been left with no other choice and no other option other than to take industrial action to fight for our terms and conditions, but not only for that, but to also fight for this great public service that has been an institution for over 500 years. And the company need to realise that what they are doing and what they want to proceed forward with is not, from the perspective of the postal workers, it's not the right way. It is absolutely not the right way.
Well, there you go. Very little room for manoeuvre there, as you can see. It will come to a head somewhere along the line, but with that, it's back to you in London in your lovely warm studio.
Yeah, it is a lot warmer than it is out there for you, Dougie. Thanks very much indeed. Graham in Coventry says, we have to support our two great posties, Dave and Adam. It should be brought back to being owned by the country. Remember, the stamp has the king on it. Or it will do soon.
Yeah, I doubt it has at the moment.
No, not at the minute. Beverly says, I'm a Royal Mail worker from Wales. Good to see Dave Ward, who's the union boss. He said, Dave mentioned they're sacking 10,000 workers, retaining 11,000 full-time equivalent zero-hour contract workers. Nobody wants to strike. It's heartbreaking. I'm getting just £12 because of the industrial action in the next week, but we have no alternative other than to fight for our beloved Royal Mail.
There's a lot of support out there. Margaret says, I'm going to be supporting the postal workers' strike. My local postie always has a smile on his face, and the same at my place of work. They are a special breed, and they're part of our daily lives. Quite right, too.
Yeah, tend to agree with you on that one.